If you hear these words, know this. It's not mere coincidence, but an echo of fate. Your soul, like a taut string, has tuned itself to this call, awaiting it with eager anticipation. Today we speak of what is deliberately left unsaid, what is meticulously concealed in the most hidden corners of dusty archives, what causes the most unyielding walls of power to tremble. But before we step into the very heart of this mystery, into these sacred halls, you must make your choice. Your like is not simply a token of attention, it is a firm declaration of your intentions. And your subscription is a voluntary enlistment in the ranks of truth seekers. We will speak of the year 1930, a year that has already arrived, yet about which you know nothing as yet. A year that will turn everything upside down. Forget politics, do not touch upon economics, bypass the subject of the coronavirus. This is all just a smokescreen, a diversion. What I want to talk about is the future, about what was glimpsed. Not by some abstract seer or hermit on the mountain, but by those at the very heart of the power machine. Those who control the flow of information, who can see what is hidden beyond the bounds of what is permitted. I speak of employees of the Central Intelligence Agency, those who are truly not just executors, but genuine visionaries whose eyes are open to the true nature of reality. They saw. And what they saw was so astonishing, so far beyond the usual understanding, that it was immediately classified. For 100 years, a whole century of oblivion for knowledge that defines your present and shapes your future. And this is not a conspiracy theory at all. This is a conspiracy against your mind, against the very essence of your perception. The truth, which they diligently hide behind a colorful veil of informational noise, is frighteningly simple and simultaneously monstrous. It lies in the fact that your familiar reality, the very one that surrounds you every second, is merely the thinnest, deceptive covering. Beneath it lurk powerful forces, ceaselessly pulling the strings, controlling your destinies, your thoughts, your desires. And these forces dread one thing to the point of trembling: your awakening, your realization. Imagine the year 2030. This is not just another milestone, not another date in the endless flow of time. It is a turning point, a bifurcation point, where the most diverse paths intertwine. It is a critically important moment when all the threads weaving the destinies of humanity converge into a tight, impenetrable knot. And upon how this knot is untied depends the future of everything. I have personally felt the echoes of these ancient prophecies, encountering their reverberations in the most unpredictable, most astonishing corners of this world. In a lost quatrain from the 11th centuria, the 93rd verse spoke of a time when shadows would gain flesh and illusions would become kings. In ancient scrolls found within the ashes of a burned monastery atop Mount Kurama, the Japanese hermit monk Kenshin described the great shift when the veil between worlds thins to a gossamer thread almost invisible. And in a sealed report from the Roman Club titled Leak from the Chimera Protocol, the subject was a systemic collapse triggered by a self-sufficient artificial intelligence network, one that subtly interweaves with global information flows like a spider's web. These, my friends, are not mere coincidences, but a kind of harmonic resonance. The prophecies of Vanga, the intricate calculations of the Maya, the mystical revelations of the Gnostics, all in essence speak of the same thing, merely clothing it in different words. They foretell a coming transformation, an inevitable transition from one era into a completely different one. And the year 2030 appears to us as the culmination of this grand transition. I speak of fractal patterns manifesting in the intricacies of geopolitical events, of how crises, like echoes of the past, repeat with astonishing precision, merely changing their outward form but retaining their original essence. I speak of the collapse of quantum probability, of how humanity's collective unconscious, overflowing with fear and profound ignorance, itself creates the reality we so desperately detest, yet continue to inhabit. I speak of the influence of solar cycles on our noosphere, of how cosmic rhythms synchronize with our inner state, as if tuning it, amplifying or diminishing our deepest potentials. That inexplicable anxiety, gripping you at 3 a.m. when the whole world slumbers and you are left alone with your thoughts, finding no peace. That strange sense of alienation that washes over you as you observe the faces of passers-by, their seemingly vacant, detached gazes, their complete disconnection from their own essence. No, this is not your usual depression, nor is it mere burnout. This is your very soul, suffocating within this faceless matrix, this skillfully constructed illusion. It is your inner voice, desperately crying out that nothing around you is as it seems, that somewhere deep within you, in your very core, lies a light desperately trying to break through the all-consuming darkness. What if all those frightening images, constantly imposed upon your consciousness, endless wars, global crises, terrifying pandemics, paralyzing fear of the unknown future, are merely shadows dancing on the walls of a symbolic cave? What if the true tyrant, the genuine oppressor, is not looking at you from some distant Kremlin, not from a powerful White House, nor even from mysterious clandestine laboratories, but is reflected in your own mirror? What if the primary, most impenetrable prison is not stone walls or iron bars, but merely your own distorted perception of reality? The universe, in its infinite wisdom, does not punish humanity. It burns away the poison, the venom of fear, the poison of ignorance, and the venom of materialism's tenacious grip. What we sometimes perceive as chaos is, in reality, a grand cosmic surgery, a profound and necessary purification. Each tragedy, each trial, each unbearable suffering is a delicate, sharp scalpel, slicing away the festering flesh of our illusions, freeing us from the suffocating chains of self-deception. A crown of glass. That's what I call the fragility of our ego, our naive attachment to external attributes, to all that we so desperately strive to claim as our own. And metallic veins represent the soulless, utterly ruthless system that permeates our lives, suppressing vibrant individuality and imposing rigid, averaged standards. But what if the ancient prophets didn't merely predict the future? What if they left us not just warnings, but something far more valuable, an activation code, a code for the Savior who has long resided within each of us? The prophets foresaw not a single savior who would arrive and fix everything. They envisioned an entire army of awakened souls. They saw you. You are not merely a part of an ancient prophecy. You are its living embodiment, its true fulfillment. Those CIA spies who peered into the future saw not the end of the world. They saw the sunset of an old defunct paradigm. They witnessed the dawn of a new reality, intricately woven from an awakened collective consciousness. They saw billions of people just like you beginning to ask sharp questions, finding the courage to doubt and actively seeking truth. It was such a breathtaking, all-encompassing spectacle that they were unable to describe it, unable to comprehend it within their limited, purely materialistic worldview. Therefore, they decided to classify this information for 100 years. 100 years, a sufficient time for the world to prepare, so that each of you may have your time for awakening. The year 2030 is not merely a date on the calendar, it is more of a special state of consciousness. It is that very moment when you cease to be just an object of others' manipulation and become an active subject of your own creation. The moment when you finally realize your true inner strength, your hidden divine spark. And now, with your eyes open, with the truth revealed to you, you simply cannot remain on the sidelines, inactive. Your like is a bright flash of light that instantly spreads across the entire network, connecting you with other awakened hearts, with those who have also seen the light. And your repost is a seed that you carefully plant in the fertile soil of sleeping minds, giving them a chance, an opportunity to see this light and awaken. Your subscription is not just words, it is a true oath. If you feel ready to go further, if you strive for more, then our inner circle will become your operational base, your reliable refuge. And your invaluable support, expressed through super thanks, is the very life-giving energy that fuels our common flame, our unquenchable striving for victory in this difficult battle against the encroaching darkness. Until our next meeting, friends, remain mindful, stay connected, and never, for a single second, stop asking questions.